morning, everyone. This is Highlander 58 in the AT. It's Thursday, June 30th, last day of June, and I'm back on the trail. I just left the Appalachian Motel in Vernon. I had a great stay there. I took a 0. I needed to rest my back, take care of some issues. Got my laundry done, took care of my credit card issues. I'm back in the game now. So right off the bat, I've got a nice steep mountain to go over and more rocks. So I'm going to cut the camera off right now so I can navigate through this maze of rocks in New Jersey. I'll be in New York in a couple of hours. I have a destination tonight, so I'm going to take my time. I'll get there about 4 or 5 o'clock. And there is a spot called New York 17, I believe. And they have a hot dog stand and an ice cream stand, so I may partake. It depends on what time I get there. All right, upward. Goodness. You know, it's 8:15 in the morning, and it's very dark in here. There's so much canopy overhead that it's amazing how dark everything is. Very little sunshine is coming through right now. Yeah, and Jersey's gonna say goodbye in a good way. I actually have to climb that. That is very steep, and I've got 0.3 miles to get to the top of this climb. It's been good so far. They have a lot of switchbacks here, but you always got to work for the end. And I have to work for this. So this is probably the highest elevation or steepest climb I'll do today, I think. Hey everybody, it's about 9:30 on the 30th, Thursday. I just had my first New Jersey bear encounter. It wasn't really an encounter per se. I came around a corner after crossing a stream, a footbridge, and I heard a rustling in the bushes, and I mean, it was a big rustling, and bugs. I saw a bear running up the hill over some rocks. I started clapping my poles and making noise like you're supposed to, and there was a sow, and I started making more noise, and then I heard more rustling in the bushes, and there was a yearling or a small bear. I assume it was a cub or a yearling. And it took off too, and I kept making a lot of noise. And there was a southbound hiker. About 20 minutes later, I let him know. And about 5 minutes ago, I heard somebody making a lot of noise, hooting and hollering, making dog noises and screaming. So I imagine he was encountering the same 2 bears. I hope he's okay. It sounded like he was just making noise. And I came down to a road crossing, and there was trail magic. A through hiker's mother, a southbounder, left a bunch of soda, and it was still pretty cold, so I had a Pepsi and a little caffeine. It was very nice. Thank you very much. The hike this morning has been good. Weather's great. Just the big rocks in the beginning, but now it's not too bad. Actually, it's very doable. So I'm almost out of New Jersey, and those are the first 2 bears I've seen. I hope I don't see any more in New Jersey, but you never know. Hey everybody, Highlander 58. It's 11:30 on Thursday, the 30th of June, and I gotta tell you, I've crossed 4 paved roads, I believe. 3, and on each of those there was trail magic. One of them, there was trail magic on both sides. Food on one side, food and soda on one side, and the water, jugs of water on the other. That one I just passed in the yellow cooler was water and some crackers. And that's 4 today, since I started hiking at 8:15. I mean, I'll tell you what, New Jersey has been absolutely just awesome. Awesome for trail magic and kind people and trail towns, and just the trail period is clean. And you know, I have to say right now that probably New Jersey has been the best state I've hiked in so far. And I know Jersey gets a lot of raps about bad raps about, you know, it being a dirty industrial town state, but that's just in the big city, Newark maybe, and you know, places like that. But not here. This is the most diverse state I've been in as far as the terrain, the vegetation, the trail has just been fabulous. And I just want to thank everybody in New Jersey who made my hike even better than it already was. And it's going to take a lot to top this. It's been marvelous, and I'll be out of New Jersey in 2 miles for good. Hate to leave. Well, I'm in New York. I just crossed out of New Jersey for the last time. And thank you, New Jersey, for a wonderful experience, a wonderful hike. Hey everybody, it's Highlander 58 on the AT. It's about 4:30 on Thursday afternoon, June 30th. I'm about a mile and a half from the Wildcat Shelter, I believe it's called. I came off of the trail at New York 17. It's a highway, very busy highway, I might add. You take a left there, and just down the road, you can see a parking lot, and there's a hot dog stand there, and they close at 3 o'clock, and I got there at 3:30. So the lady was still there. She'd already packed everything up, so she couldn't help me, and that was cool. She directed me another 200 yards past her, also to the left when you get off the trail, to the Belleville Creamery, which is an ice cream shop. Very nice. They make their own ice cream. They only serve ice cream products and soda. However, they have a charging station for hikers, and they have a spigot with really cold, clear water outside, a place for us to sit and rest and stay as long as we want. They're open till I believe 9 o'clock during the summer. They have a great milkshake for $5.65. It's about 32-ounce milkshake. I could barely finish it. It was awesome. So I got there, had my shake, filled up my water bottles, and headed back to the trail. And almost end of a long day, and I am wore out. The first day in New York was tough, and as soon as I get into camp and they set up, I'll close out the day and tell you what to expect. But right now I gotta go uphill, and I got a full pack with food and water, so it's a little heavy. I recommend that you, when you come off the trail at New York 17, take that left and go down to the creamery and get your water bottles filled up. There's supposed to be a spring at the shelter, but I don't know how, I'm not sure how reliable that spring is. Water up here is harder to get. These little streams dry up when they don't have rain, and right now it's pretty dry. Even if the creamery is closed, they have picnic tables, garbage cans, and water and a charging station there. And it's actually marked as hiker charging station. You can't miss it. There's a trail that goes back to the trail across from the creamery. If you don't want to walk on the highway's pretty dangerous. I actually walked on it and it was busy. There's a little bit of a shoulder there, but not much. Hey everybody, it's Highlander 58. Just checking in. I just arrived at the infamous lemon squeezer. Let's see how well I do through this. Shouldn't be any problem. Ooh, that looks interesting. That was a very interesting experience. I had to take my pack off. There was a couple in front of me. The gal left her pack on, but her male friend took his off. We kind of helped each other get our packs up on the edge. It was a lot of fun, I guess. So I'm gonna move on now. That's the infamous lemon squeezer. Hey everybody, this is Highlander 58 on the AT. It's 12 o'clock on Saturday, July 2nd, and I was just coming out of Harrington State Park, and man, it's packed. It's a 4th of July weekend, so I mean there's just dozens of day hikers. There was probably, I don't know, 50, 60 people there. I've passed probably six weekend hikers, or not even section hikers, just out here for the weekend. Some of them are going to Bear Mountain, and I just hope the shelters aren't going to be too crowded. That's what I'm trying to get there. I've got a shelter in 5 miles, and I've got a shelter in 8 miles. And depending on how the first shelter looks as far as crowds, I may move on to the second. Either one's going to put me in a position to get down into Fort Montgomery tomorrow around noon or before. So I'm having a pretty good day. Some things happened that I want to talk about, but it's kind of convoluted. Some really miraculous things happened in the last 24 hours. The coincidences and the events that occurred are nothing short of destiny. And I'll explain later, because this involves my family, and it involves a trail angel who's a subscriber of mine, who is a true trail angel. I mean, this guy is awesome. And I'll talk about it later because I don't want to forget anything. It's that important to me. And it set me back a few hours, a few miles, but it was worth it. It was, trust me, when I tell you the story, you're gonna believe it was meant to be, as I do. So I'm gonna carry on here. I've got plenty of water. Lemon squeezer was a very interesting phenomenon. I had to take my pack off and put it over my head or in front of me and walk my way through the lemon squeezer, and it was okay. It wasn't that difficult, but it wasn't easy either. But that's that's one of the things on the AT that you go through. And I've been walking as fast as I can, when I can, to stay ahead of this weekend bubble of locals up here. Nice folks. I just don't want to get caught up in that, because I have to set my pace to them, and or speed up to the point where I exhaust myself. So we'll see what happens. I got about 2.5 hours to go to the first shelter, and then I think it's called the Brienne shelter or something like that. You know, don't let anyone tell you there's no rocks in New York, because I've done a lot of scrambling. I've had to sit down on my butt a couple of times and lower myself down off ledges, pull myself up with my hands and my legs every day. Somebody told me that when you get past the fingerboard shelter, it starts to get easier, smoother, and it's true. I've been walking in basically very grassy meadows. There's a few small rocks, but it just kind of rolls, and there's blueberry bushes everywhere. And unfortunately, all the ripe ones have been picked. Good morning, everyone. This is Highlander 58 on the AT, and I am about 3.5 miles from I think it's Bear Mountain Recreation Area and Fort Montgomery. I'm coming around a corner, and this is what I see. Unreal. Kathy, T, and Bob, thank you so much for the note. Man, I just wish I could have met you. You know, this just gives me so much more motivation to keep hiking, and makes my day. So I'm taking this with me, and thank you so much. I have had so much trail magic and met so many trail angels, and people who subscribe to the channel who have just left nice notes, or gone out of their way to help me. That I'm touched. My heart is touched. This is very moving. So thank you so much. I can't say enough. I'll take this with me, and it'll motivate me to get to Fort Montgomery just a little bit faster. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I just crossed the highway. I've got one more big uphill to go before I get to Bear Mountain, and I just noticed this doe and her twin fawns up about maybe 150 feet from me. They let me take their picture, and then they decided to leave. That was kind of them, though. First time I've seen fawns on the trail. I saw 2. Awesome. There are a lot of blueberry bushes in New York, especially in this area. And I can't help but stop and just pick a few and enjoy them. They're very sweet. They're small, but they're very sweet. Yummy. Hey everybody, it's Highlander 58. I just wanted to comment on the hike up to Bear Mountain. Someone took a lot of time and effort to make this one of the most enjoyable hikes on the AT so far. There's steps up the trail pretty much all the way, making it very, very comfortable. There's cars like paralleling me right now on a paved surface, and the trail is very thick with crushed granite, it looks like, very wide, well marked, and there's supposed to be vending machines at the top here for soda and water, snacks. Has some great views, and I thought it was going to be a lot tougher than it was. It was actually rather enjoyable, and it's about a 2.5 mile hike up to the mountaintop, and I can actually see right now vending machines. So I'm gonna go partake of a water and a soda before I head down into Fort Montgomery. Hey everyone, it's Highlander 58 on the AT, and I am with Kathy T and Bob. They are followers of mine, and they left me that wonderful note this morning, and I came around down off the mountain, and I ran into them. And I recognized Kathy from her photo on YouTube, and they're hiking with me down to the zoo. And we are in, I guess, Bear Mountain Rec area, and it is the 3rd of July, and this place is hopping. I think half of New York City is here. So there they are right behind me. See, there's Bob, and there's Kathy.
Having a great time.
So they are true trail angels. They did trail magic, I think, yesterday. Excuse me. And they're going to walk with me to my destination today. And they're from Long Island, of all places. Okay, so I'm going to cut this off now because people are not moving out of my way, and I don't want to run into somebody and get punched. Hey everybody, this is Highlander 58 on the AT, and I'm at the Bear Mountain Bridge Motel in Fort Montgomery, New York. It's 4th of July weekend, and it's like everybody in New York City comes to Bear Mountain Recreation Area on the weekends and holidays, and there was a lot of people there. Crazy things have happened in the last couple days, and trying to get it in a chronological order has been kind of crazy. So I had some great trail magic today. I was able to meet a very loyal follower of mine, Kathy T, and her husband, Bob. It's been one of those kind of 6 degrees of separation kind of weeks. And if you don't know what that means, just Google it. Just Google it. I don't have time to go into all the theories and ramifications of that particular theory. I want to talk about something that happened. It not only happened Friday, but it also happened today. And it just solidifies my reason for being on the AT. It's not about getting to Katahdin. It's about the journey and the wonderful people and the experiences that you have while you're on the trail that affect you and will affect you for the rest of your life. And I've had several of those experiences on the trail, even more so recently. And I want to talk about those. But in the last couple days, I've had the best trail magic I've ever had from followers on YouTube. People that have supported me, encouraged me, and I met 3 of them. It's very hard for me to describe the things that happened and the way they happened. And you know, in my line of work, I saw a lot of bad things. And the trail has renewed my faith in humanity, believe it or not. Perfect strangers who walk up and hug you and kiss you and thank you and offer whatever you need. They don't know me. And I've been so moved and inspired by these people that words do not even come to me at this point to describe how I feel about that. It just doesn't stop. The kindness that I've received from people I don't even know, but now they're friends. Now I do know them. So I hope you enjoyed this. I really do. Hey everyone, this is Highlander 58 on the AT. Sitting on a bed in my hotel room in Fort Montgomery, New York. And I mentioned that I wanted to talk about some things that have happened that to me are part of the trail experience. And they mean a lot to me because the way they happened. And it's very hard to explain this. So if you don't want to watch this, just you know, cut it off, delete it. I don't really care. But part of the trail experience to me was the emotional side, the physical side, the mental side, the spiritual side, and the people that I would meet on the trail that would change my life forever. And in the last couple of days, that's come home. I took a zero in Vernon, New Jersey, off of 94, New Jersey 94, and of course, every time I go to a hotel, I put my charger in, I put my phone in. So I have a charger that will hold about 6 or 7 charges for my phone. And I thought it had charged, so I didn't worry about it. So I packed everything up and I left that day. And when I got to the Wildcat shelter, I believe it was Friday night, no, Thursday night, I realized my charger was dead, totally dead. And my phone was like 30%. Now, that may not sound like a big deal, but when you're out here on the trail by yourself and you're doing a video journal or a blog and you stay in contact with your family on a regular basis, daily basis, through text, it's a big deal. The only place I knew at that particular moment to get things charged back up or to check my charger were to go where I'm at now, which is 3 days ahead, basically. And it's not that big a deal. I could have waited, but I remember a subscriber named, we'll call him Alex. I'm not going to reveal his first name, but it's the same as mine, ironically. So he sent me his number a while back, and I lost it. And when I got to the I got to the Orange Turnpike, I thought, let me just call him and see if he can run me down to a Walmart or to a Radio Shack or to a Starbucks so I can charge my phone and see if my charger works. I dropped my charger a couple days before all this, and it kind of got into the dirt. I was outside my tent, and I was charging my phone, and it slipped, and it's heavy. It's about 1.25 pounds. And I didn't realize I may have damaged it. And at that time, I didn't need to use it after that. I figured, okay, well, my phone's charged now, so I put it away. Anyway, I called him and said, can you run me up to a Walmart or someplace? And he said, well, yeah, sure. He says, I'm in Warwick. I live in Warwick. Well, I had passed Warwick. It was behind me by several miles, several hours. I said, well, I hate for you to come all the way out here from Warwick. It's probably a 30-40 minute drive, and it was, I believe. And I said, I'll work something out, but thanks. So I hung up, and I started to walk, and I thought I heard my phone ring, and I was down to like 15% on the battery. I didn't want to use the phone, but I missed the call, and I checked it, and he had called back. So I called him back, and he said, hey, I can come get you. So I said, well, how about this? How about we go back to Warwick? I'll get a room there tonight. I'll go to the Radio Shack there in town, because he told me there was a Radio Shack. And I'll try to get a new charger and get this problem resolved. And then you can drop me back here on the Orange Turnpike, and where I left off, we'll continue the hike. Well, he said, okay. So he came back and picked me up. and got in the car. Nice guy. Started to talk. That's when I figured out we had the same first name. We had the same profession. We both retired from the same profession. Him in New York, and me in Florida. So right there, and he's also a veteran. And I believe he is a veteran. I meet so many now. I think he is. But anyway, we started talking and we just hit it off. I mean, just so many things in common. He's a hiker too. And he's been in Warwick a long time. So he went by a hotel in Warwick, and he said, this is not good for you. I don't think this is a good place for you. So then he drove me down to Green Lakes Village after a tour of Warwick. Beautiful, beautiful little town, beautiful homes. It's a bedroom community that time forgot. So Alex, as we will call him, drove me to the Breezy Point Inn and restaurant. It's right on the lake. It's a restaurant, a full bar, beautiful, marina. And they have like 4 rooms they rent out. I walked in and she said, well, there's nobody here, so you have your choice. So I picked a room furthest away from the bar because they have music at night. I got my room, and Alex and I had a great lunch and beautiful weather. But then he reminded me that there was tornado watches and heavy thunderstorms scheduled for that evening. So probably it was, there you go. It was a good thing that I decided to get off the trail. So I said, well, I'm going to try to correct the problems with my charger, and if not, he'd run me to Radio Shack on the way back out the next morning. Come to find out that I had gotten dirt in the charging port of the charger when I dropped it. So I banged it and all this dirt came out. I cleaned it out with a Q-tip, and lo and behold, I plugged it in, the thing worked. That was kind of strange. The day before, I believe my sister had texted me and asked me if I was anywhere near Warwick, and I said, well, yeah, I'm close, but I passed it. I didn't need to go into town for any reason, so I didn't go. Well, she informed me that that's where her husband grew up, and her husband passed away a few years ago. And he and his family raised horses there. And he was from Long Island, and so is Alex. So all these coincidences started to come together in a weird, strange kind of a way. So my sister sent me this photograph of her husband, her late husband, standing in front of this restaurant and tavern on Main Street down in Warwick. And I thought it was kind of cool that I was in his hometown, and I came back because of a battery issue in my charger. I would have never come into Warwick. And so that night a big storm came through. I mean, it was a thunder boomer, and I thought, man, I'm glad I'm not on the trail. I had a great night's sleep. I woke up the next morning, my charger was working fine, my phone was working fine, and I meet Alex in the parking lot, and I tell him about the photograph, and he goes, do you want to go by there and take a picture of yourself standing in that same place? I said, I think I have to. I want to send it to my sister. It'll mean a lot to her because she really misses her husband. So he drove me there, we set up the shot, and he took the shot. And then he dropped me back off the trail down the Orange Turnpike. I don't think that just happened. I believe that all things happen for a purpose. I mentioned the 6 degrees of separation. I believe that I was supposed to meet Alex. I believe I was supposed to go to Warwick. And I believe, for my sister's sake, I was supposed to take that picture. Because I miss my brother-in-law more than I can say. He was a good man. He raised 3 super boys into super men. And I'm very close to my sister. So that was, to me, and only to me, it may mean nothing to you, but to me, that was miraculous. That was amazing because I got to meet a follower on YouTube who turned out to be a true trail angel. And I am grateful for that. That's my story, and you know, I can tell you stories all along this journey. This is not a hike, this is a journey. This is a pilgrimage almost to me. I'm learning more about myself, and it's changing me into a more caring person. This is what my journey is about on the AT. It's not about getting just to Katahdin. I'm going to keep walking. I guess I'll get there eventually. It's about the wonderful people that I meet, the wonderful places and the cities and the towns that I go to that I would never in my life come to had I not been on the trail. And things I'll never forget as long as I live, and things I can tell my grandkids about. I just wanted to pass that on to you guys. Thanks for listening.